Alright, Super Sentai is done, so I'm just going to take a look at all the Red Rangers and Super Sentai figures that I have in my collection. I'm going to start off with Red Hawk from Jetman. And this is one of the first older Sentais that I watched. I have to say, everything about this guy, the suit, the design, it's just complete. And you could start to see where like the design elements for like future Sentai like G start to take place with just this figure. Next, it has to be Tyranno Ranger, but also Tyranno Ranger with that ish on. But it's the Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. This is your first Red Ranger. This is your introduction to Tokusatsu. This right here is the gold standard for every American Tokusatsu fan because we are left in Mighty Morphin Purgatory, but Zyuranger is a really, really, really fun show. I love everything about it from the designs to the villains, and I don't think Mighty Morphin has a big place in that decision because when you look at both of the series objectively, they do things completely different. Which brings me to Ninja Red from Kaku Ranger. Yes, we don't talk about Alien Ranger. Alien Ranger was not a good series. But without Power Rangers Lightning Collection, we would never get a Ninja Red from Kaku Ranger. We wouldn't get any of these figures. And it's really dope that we managed to get these guys out of the Lightning Collection. Personally, don't think that they should have canceled the line because we got absolute bangers like this. Copy paste everything that I said and apply it to O Ranger and the Red Zeo Ranger. Again, a character that you probably would have never gotten without a certain line. A highly sought after figure. And if you're a Tommy Oliver fanboy, you can just have this on your Tommy Oliver display. Red Racer or Turbo Red, for me, this is always going to be TJ, the first black leader of the Power Rangers. You can't erase that history, but I will also say that Car Ranger is one of my favorite Super Sentais because when you first watch it, you think that it's silly nonsense and it progressively gets better and better throughout the series. But again, having like Red Racer or the Red Turbo Ranger on shelf is just awesome. My copy has a little loose leg. I don't know if that's like throughout all the copies, but I'm not really a fan of how loose my leg is here, but it's just really cool to have the figure. And then we have Mega Red and Nega Red, but both of these guys are super awesome to have. Again, like, how in your lifetime, my lifetime, when did you ever think you were going to get super articulated, posable figures of these two characters? And my God, Power Rangers in Space, a great finale to like an era of Power Rangers. Andros, probably top 5 Red Rangers. And Psycho Red, probably top 5 antagonists in the franchise. I love both these guys. The Power Rangers, lost. Anyway, Lost Galaxy, super fire franchise. Like the first entry after the Zordon era of Power Rangers is so good. Just enough nostalgia spliced in, so like the older fans of the franchise at the point, I had to be like at least 9, 10 years old at that point, and bringing in newer fans for some people, this is their first Red Ranger. Leo's a good Red Ranger, but also cannot talk about Ginga Man. I didn't enjoy Ginga Man as much. I thought it was very dark and intense and a lot of soap opera stuff that I typically don't like in Sentai, which isn't necessarily a fair thing to say because I think that it's still a good series. It's just something that it was not for me. Yes, is it a copy paste series? Yes, are they just adapt something for an American audience? Does it make either series less good than the other? No, because there's nuance in both of them. I really like Time Ranger and I really like Time Force. I really like the Quantum Ranger. I really like Time Fire. I really like Time Red. I really like Time Force Red. Like, elements of both stories make them unique. And also, these suits are very unique themselves. Now, I don't like the Megazord for this one, but that's an entirely different conversation to have. Hurricane Red from Hurricaneger and Ninja Storm Red from Ninja Storm, two separate characters. I really enjoyed both Hurricaneger and Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm was a really good like departure from what Power Rangers have been doing for years, especially being the first entry in the Disney era of Power Rangers. But man, did Hurricaneger do so many awesome things. Suit designs, mech designs, camera work, like choreography, everything So awesome. This is in my top five Super Sentais. I have the Ultra Megazord on shelf because that's how much I loved this franchise. I mean, this particular series. Abba Red is another character you would never think you have on shelf. Again, Power Rangers Lightning Collection really did a good job having the Abba Ranger suits or the Dino Thunder suits on shelf. Again, another really good Sentai Power Ranger design. Like, I wish, I do wish we got the super modes. I could probably customize it at some point, but these figures are getting so expensive. Like, why would I want to like spend hundreds of dollars just for some customs? I actually might do that. I'm out for the homie because this is what happened to my Deca Red. And if you have a Deca Red or had a Deca Red, you know this figure is prone to breakage at the hip. The worst part is this is my second Deca Red. The figure itself, boo boo garbage. The shows, great. SPD's awesome. Deca Ranger's awesome. I have nothing to say about it. The suits, they're awesome. This figure, it broke like right there at the hip. And what's weird is that like my other Deca Red, I bought this one as replacement parts. You can even see that like there's some kind of sun bleaching happening with like his joints. But worst figure in the line. Like, it's an older figure. I know some of these older figures break. My Navy Lightning Ranger, like he broke at the hip too, so I had to like swap him out with another figure. I don't know what it is about the 2011 plastic, but that stuff really just did not hold up. And if you want to know the figure that I swapped out for, this might actually make some of you guys upset, but it was the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger, so I need to find a replacement hip part for that. But I'm getting sidetracked. Shinken Red, great series. Power Ranger Samurai. I was a little too old for that when it came out. I think I was entering college. Problems with this figure. It's starting to have that drop down hip degradation, so I know eventually at the hips this figure is also going to shatter. We're getting an SK version of this soon, so I'm kind of really hoping to grab one of those instead. Probably going to grab two just to try to repair the older one or use the older one for parts. I haven't really thought that one through yet, but everybody loves this character. Everybody loves Jaden. Everybody loves Shinkenger. It's a good franchise. It's this for, again, for a lot of kids, this was their first Red Ranger, and that's super awesome. I love Go Busters. I love the suits. I love the Megazords. I love how silly it is. I love the buddies. This was just a really good figure to have. This is my second version of this figure. I had the initial release years ago, but I decided to trade it for... Can you tell who my favorite Red is? Oh my God, I love this show. The suits design, the action, the choreography, the everything about Kyojin was so good. Gokai Red is just the embodiment of like a really good Red Ranger type. Everything about the suits in this show, everything about the way the powers worked. I love the Mobiret. I love the Megazord. I loved everything about Gokaiger. Megaforce is garbage, but it's made by people who didn't care anymore. The suits are still cool because it's Gokaiger. Everything about this figure, the SK Gokai Red, is super awesome. I love the posability. I love the little itty bitty Ranger key that we got with this guy. Everything, I could just gush about this figure by itself, but in a line full of different Red Rangers, this one stands out just a little bit more on my shelf. We're skipping so many Sentais right now just to go into Resoldier or Dino Fury. I'm going to start with Dino Fury because this is such an interesting way to end this franchise. Power Rangers for a while wasn't making any money, which is kind of the similar reason why Sentai's ended. And I really enjoyed Soldier. Like, I really loved the designs. The Megazords were super cool. There's a lot of good that came out of this show. And again, Lightning Collection, we would have gotten it because of Power Rangers, but Super Sentai wise, we weren't getting this. Where is the SH figure arts for this guy? Who knows? We'll probably never see these guys again in toy form. I'm strictly in Super Sentai territory now. Don Brothers, this show took so long to be like insane. Everything about this show, from like Momotaro dying over and over again, the CGI dog, and you know how a lot of this stuff had to do with COVID and the COVID restrictions, but the suit, like the suit's really cool. I wouldn't call it another Ninja Sentai necessarily, but just like the sunglasses on his face with the peach. It's like there's a lot of like heavy Japanese influence in this one, more than Shinkenger. And it's just a fun show. And I didn't think I was going to like it, especially because I didn't think I was going to like Zenkaiger as much. And I don't even know if I really should be putting this guy on the list. That's why I skipped it. I had to really think about it. But this suit really grew on me. Going back and like thinking about like its influences in Super Sentai history, going back to the Owl Ranger and the Big One influences. The red in his suit counts, but similar to how like White Ranger Tommy is the leader of his team, I don't think of him as a white or a red ranger. I think of him more of a kind of like a rainbow ranger because of all the different colorations in his suit. And this figure is super awesome. The one thing I wish was I was able to replace this cape with a more cloth wire good cape, but this material is really nice. And I don't know, this guy is growing on me more. The show's outrageous. I like the ideas that Super Sentai was really trying to experiment with towards the end of the franchise. And Zenkaiger is one of those franchises where it's just like, no, this is totally out there, Elseworld stuff. Everything about King Ulger is awesome, and I know a lot of people in the Toku fandom don't really like hearing that, but I'm a big fan of bug-themed heroes. This guy right here, he's such a well-built and designed character. I love the all red. I had to change my cape out for something more flowy on my figure, but it's just such a good design. All the designs. I wish we had got a full set of these figures or these characters, because he reminds me of a big bad Beetleborg or like a bee fighter. Like he's just so good. Boonger is so good. And we can all agree that these helmets are not awesome. Like, but the champion jacket, the all white suit, the racing motif, the fact that it sounds like a Honda Civic backfiring when you say its name, all those things made this show really fun at the end of the day. And finally, number one, Sentai Gozuger Gozu Wolf. Man, it was up and down with this show and this franchise, but we don't have to talk about the drama. What we are going to talk about is the suit design. Taking all the elements of past Sentais and bringing it all together. The Six Ranger shoulder plate, the gold emblems from past Sentais, the armory bits from more recent Sentais. I feel like this was a good merging of like 50 years of ideas into one final really solid suit. I know I skipped a lot. I know I skipped Gal Ranger. I know I skipped Lupin Ranger. There's so many other really good Sentai figures that I wish we got, but we just didn't get. And it's a bummer. And I'm bummed out. And it's sad. But I'm kind of hoping that the new Gavin series is going to be super awesome. I'm hoping that the Tokusatsu franchise keeps going. And sooner than later, we might see a resurgence in Super Sentai. Goku, like, this idea isn't going anywhere. Maybe with the new Power Ranger show, we'll get something really interesting, but like, can't really bet on America. Like, it's just awesome to have had this franchise be a part of my life, at least. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who's your favorite Red Ranger. Let me know who's your favorite Super Sentai team. Hype Villain, peace.